Hi, I'm Stephanie, and this is the story of the time I experienced a demonic attack inside my home. It was about 16 years ago. My son was about 18 months old, and he and I were the only people in our house, and he was laying in the bed with me. It was about 4 o'clock in the morning. My husband had left really early to go to work. My daughter was spending the night at my mom's house. And I hear my bedroom door open. And I thought to myself, who is that? Because there's nobody else here. And then I hear little footsteps coming into my room and coming up beside my bed and stopping at the head of my bed, beside where I was laying, but I had my back facing that side of the wall. So I turn around, and there standing beside my bed is a little dark shadow of a man, like a shadowy figure. And before I can react to what I am looking at, before I could scream, before I could do anything, this thing, which was a demon, jumped onto me and started wrestling me in the bed. And it was pinning me down to the sheets. And the more I fought this thing, the stronger it was, the weaker I was. I had no power against this thing. And I remember looking over at my son in the bed beside me, and his little body was just like bouncing up and down on the bed. And because I'm in like full WWE over here, wrestling with a demon in my room. And I said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. And as soon as I said that, it was gone. Completely gone. And I was just left sitting in my bed, like hyperventilating, freaking out. And I did not know what in the world to do. I got my son up, I got him dressed, I got dressed, I had all the lights in the house on. I left, put him in the car, and we like drove around for 3 hours because like his daycare wasn't even open yet. But I just remember thinking, how can this even happen? Like, I knew that I was saved, and I knew that Jesus had defeated the devil on the cross. So I did not understand why I was being literally, physically attacked by a demon in my house. And my husband and I were raised in the same little Southern Baptist church in South Carolina. And, you know, we talked about spiritual warfare. Oh yeah, you got to watch out for spiritual warfare. You know, but no one ever mentioned the possibility that one day a demon could walk into my house and attack me. And so I called my husband. I was telling him what happened. I was so upset. And he assured me it was just a dream, that it did not really happen. And that was just not true. I was awake for sure this whole time. Well, the next night, my daughter came back. She was 5 at the time. And she said, Mommy, sometimes at night, I see a little dark man in my room. And so I said, oh, baby, do not worry. God is going to protect us. I prayed with her. But I was freaking out on the inside because I was thinking, oh my gosh, I can't protect myself. There's an airplane. How am I supposed to protect my child? I can't. I cannot. And then I didn't know what to do. When I tell you the spirit of fear had me bad, it had me so bad. I was absolutely terrified 100% of the time. Every day, all day, it was just terrible. So I went to my pastor. I asked my pastor what to do. He had no advice for me. Because you know what? Unfortunately, in seminary and pastors nowadays, they don't even talk about spiritual warfare and what to do to fight in the spirit. And so for 3 years of my life, I was terrified. I had to have the lights on to go to sleep. I had to have the television on. It was just terrible. And then one day, one of my friends from church gave me a book called The Bondage Breaker by Neil Anderson. Great book. But in it, it said, you know what? The Bible tells us that the devil is like a roaming lion seeking for those to devour. But it says that this lion has already been defanged and declawed by Jesus' death on the cross and his resurrection. But we have to stand up in our authority in Jesus Christ and command it and the devil to leave us in the name of Jesus. We have been given that authority. And in the back of this book, it had prayers, deliverance prayers. And I found the one about fear, spirit of fear. And so I read out loud that prayer against spirit of fear. And when I tell you, it came off of me like a blanket was lifted off. A heavy, heavy blanket was lifted off of my life, my body, myself. Like just, it was like every day was Christmas morning. It was fantastic. And I knew at that point, it was just a whole new ball game. So that's kind of my backstory. That's where I'm coming from. So God has allowed me to go through that experience so that I can come along beside other believers and help them walk through deliverance and experience freedom, just like I did. So that's my story. Let me know if you've had a similar experience.